Happy Monday, start of a new week of werewolves. Hope everybody's good today. Hope you had a good weekend. I know I did. I'm not sure what number this video is these days. It's all just a blur, but I promise I will continue to make them. So today's topic is probably one that you're not ready for. And I only say that because whenever I ask myself this question, and I ask myself this question a lot, I'm never ready for it. So I'm going to get real close and ask you something. Do you know what your weaknesses are? You had to think about it for a second, didn't you? The reason that you had to think about it is because we hide our weaknesses. We hide them right behind our strengths most of the time. We usually focus most of our attention on our strengths and developing our strengths. I'm going to go ahead and say that's dangerous. You're strong in those areas. So therefore, maybe you might benefit in your self-development by figuring out, first of all, what are your weaknesses? What are you not so good at? What is it that you ignore in order to prevent yourself from having to face the facts? Whatever it is, it's exactly what you need to be facing. Most of us live on our strengths. Most of us convince others or try to convince others that we possess no weaknesses. But that would be impossible because no one's perfect. You've got weaknesses. I hate to tell you, you've got weaknesses. I've got weaknesses. A couple of my weaknesses, just to kind of prove to you that we're all human. I'm impatient. I'm impulsive. Many times I need to listen more and talk less. Many times my passion gets in the way. Many times I'm less motivated than I wish I was. See, I don't get motivated by money or fame or celebrity or anything that has very little substance. So therefore, I have to really look inside, ask myself, what motivates me? And constantly bring myself back to focusing on what motivates me. Because I know that motivation is a weakness of mine. That would be why I'm 36 years old and still having to work my way towards my purpose. But I'd rather be 100 years old realizing my purpose than die a human being that never understood that I had a purpose. By developing your weaknesses and ignoring your strengths, not forever, but just for a while, until you have developed your weaknesses to a point where you can then start to reintroduce developing your strengths so that you're more of a well-rounded individual. This is undeniably important for your development professionally as well as your development personally. Analyze your weaknesses. Accept that you have weaknesses. Put your ego aside for a moment. Just because you're good or even excellent in one aspect of your life does not mean that you are good in all aspects of your life. Look no further than doctors in order to figure that out. Doctors are great academically, but in many cases, they can't get their personal lives together because academic intelligence does not dictate intelligence. There's also emotional intelligence, what a lot of people like to call the school of hard knocks or the school of life, which is just as valuable as medical school, maybe even more valuable in most cases. Now, weaknesses, or what I like to call personally blind spots, parts of your personality that you overlook or don't recognize, are human, they're common, everyone has them. But until that blind spot reveals itself to you, you will never fully accept what you're doing to yourself or other people, whether it be overeating, passive aggressive, treating yourself like shit, treating others like shit, treating nature like shit. All these things are weaknesses. It will never be a strength how much you treat something else like shit, okay? It will only affect you and reflect on you. Start analyzing your weaknesses and it will reflect less and less on you. People will begin to realize that maybe you can recognize your own weaknesses, because I promise you, it may only be your spouse or your best friend or maybe your family, but people are waiting for you to recognize things about yourself. I encourage you to be proactive about that. Don't let a situation make you realize how bad you act. Realize it on your own, because then it'll stick. Okay? We all have weaknesses. I have more than you do. But I promise you, I will die with less than you do, because I am committed to strengthening my weaknesses. I urge you to come with me. Hot Pink Awarewolves, Three Rivers Paddle Sports. I love you so much that I'll stand on my soapbox until we're on the same page. I love you. Let's do this together. See you on Tuesday.